Give it a few seconds.
I see recording button here.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay, Joyce, you can take it away.
All righty. Hi, I'm Joyce Burgess with the National Black Home Educators, and we have a group of people here with us who will be learning more about G Suite for Education. We just want to say again, thank you to the National Black Home Educators. We want to say thank you to Google for allowing home educators access to G Suite for Education. So we're here today going to be talking about that. It's an introductory kind of training session to what the G Suite is all about, some of the benefits of the G Suite, the entire platform, what G Suite is. And we are fortunate and blessed to have with us Angela Valentine, who is a certified Google trainer. She will be leading this event, and we're looking forward to hearing some of the wonderful, wonderful things out there that Google has for adults, for businesses, for children. And as you know, with everything that's going on now, our children, lots of our children are distance learning. Parents are in situations where they never thought they would be before, so far as teaching their own children. You know, I've been a homeschool mom for 30-some years. Angela is very hands-on with her kids, but now parents pandemically are seeing what it's like to teach their own children directly. So G Suite for Education is here to help. We are fortunate to have this platform. And so Angela, are you here?
I'm here, Joyce. Thanks for having me today.
Take it away.
All right. Okay. Again, thank you, Joyce, for that wonderful introduction. My name is Angela Valentine, and I am a Google for Education certified trainer. I've been a trainer since 2017 when I got involved with Google for Education and started doing some volunteer work. My background is corporate trainer for 20 years. And then after that, and I had my son, I got involved with Google for Education. So this has been a great project for me. It's been a fun project. It's been good to learn with my technology background. It's been good to learn what Google is doing in the school systems for kids and trying to get them up to par. So by the time they graduate, they can, you know, have the skills that they need to have. I met Joyce by the announcement that went out with Google concerning G Suite being opened up to homeschools. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. I picked up the phone immediately and called her, and we made an instant connection, and we've been joined at the hip since that day. And I really appreciate her vision for the NBHE and the homeschool organizations as far as how she sees this is so relevant for all of us, any parent that has a kid at home, you know, how it's so relevant for us to get this technology that is given to us by Google and how we can use it and implement it. And we've been on a journey since then just to get this message out to everyone and anyone that would listen. So thank you for your time today. What I'm going to do very briefly is give you an overview. I'm going to share my screen and give you an overview of where we've housed this information and where you can find it, and just to show you a little bit about G Suite for Education. Okay, what I have on the screen here, and I hope you ladies can see the screen.
Yes.
If not, and just let me know. Okay, very good. Sometimes I think I'm sharing and then you know, technology, right? So I am on NBHE.net. That's a National Black Home Educators group that Joyce and her lovely husband have put together for NBHE. It houses all the information I think she's been collecting over the many years that she's been doing this wonderful work. And what we have added on the NBHE site is a G Suite for Education tab. I hope you can see that. I'm kind of expanding the screen just a little bit here so you can read it. The G Suite for Education tab, if you'll click the plus sign, there'll be a pull down here. And this is all the information that we have put together to date. We are constantly adding information and resources to this link. And the first thing we have here is an introductory letter. And this letter just goes over why we're dealing with G Suite, the benefits of it, what's involved with it, the apps and how you can use them in homeschooling, as well as other resources and links and things of that sort. So this is where this would pretty much be the starting point to give you an overview. If you've never heard of G Suite for Education, you want to know what it's all about, we just have this little letter here to just kind of lay the foundation for that. And then next on the site here, we have, there's an application and some other things here, but I wanted to go over the, let's see, G Suite for Education classes. I had the link open, it's in the background. Oh yes, this is the site that I wanted to show. Now, when it comes to G Suite for Education, what Google has given us is a suite. That's why it's called Suite. It's a set of apps that can be used in the education setting. So the whole concept behind G Suite for Education is that you use your regular curriculum, your regular teaching lessons, series, anything that you want to teach, but you just kind of change the format of it, and we call it digitizing. Joyce and I talk about digitizing our lessons. So when we digitize our lessons, we just take the normal lessons that we normally teach and we implement technology into it. Say, for example, instead of writing a report, maybe we would go into Google Docs and have them type a report and do a little bit of Google research through Google search, and implement the links and the documents and the what do you call it, the citations, and just kind of do it all online. And then you submit it to your instructor. The instructor can take it and look at it and give feedback in the comments and send it back to the students. All this is done within Google Classroom. So it's a way to kind of automate some processes and save time for the instructor, as well as give instantaneous feedback. And so that's the approach that we use. We're not asking people to come on here and learn all these hard technical subjects. It's not that at all, but it's just a way, as the instructor is comfortable, the parent is comfortable, you just implement a little bit of technology as you're comfortable over time, using whatever apps that really help you and assist you to get the message to your children. So that's the concept that we kind of use and the approach that we use, and it's really worked very well. What we put here, and this was the link that I showed you from NBHE, is just a sample list of classes of how you can take an example lesson and digitize it. Joyce has submitted from the Most Excellent Way Academy a botany class, and we've got some instructions here, and you can see it if you pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up right now, but you can see how it would. This is actually a screenshot of it in within Google Classroom. And if you do this within Google Classroom, then it's almost like a social media page. When I see Google Classroom, I think of, okay, you've got a stream where the teacher talks to the students and the students can post a question, or the teacher can post an assignment, and they kind of have this dialogue. And then there's another tab that has assignments that they click and just watch a YouTube or fill out a questionnaire or do something like that online. And that's how Google Classroom kind of incorporates everything here. And we've just set up some free lessons, some sample lessons here that you can just go and look at and take advantage of here. Also, there's a computer science. What I bring to the table as a Google certified trainer, Google has put together one of the portals for computer science is CS First. And that gives children an introduction, from Google's perspective, an introduction to computer science. The CS First portal will allow you to pull in lessons. They're already ready. You just click the video and the Google person does a lesson and you stop and then the kids do the exercise. But CS First is like a plug and play. And you can incorporate those lessons directly into your Google Classroom and have instant computer science curriculum, which I think is wonderful. It's free of charge. They don't even charge you for it. They just want our kids to really be positioned for the future technology. So they really do a wonderful job of just giving us content, giving us things, and we are responsible as trainers. They kind of deputize us to kind of get the information out there. So that's what I try to do, and that's what I try to bring to the table. So in addition to getting G Suite for your co-op or your homeschool with Joyce, then Google then has another layer of where you can incorporate lessons alongside with your homeschool lessons. You have the computer science lessons as well. It makes a wonderful, nice little package. And I appreciate the fact that they take all the work out of it and make it as plug and play friendly, you know, as possible. So it doesn't matter what level of technology that I hear a lot of teachers or a lot of parents say, you know, I'm really not technically savvy. Okay, well, you can watch a YouTube video, you know, if you can download an app sometimes, you know, it's really not that complicated and they really keep it simple. That's why I like the Google platform, because they're all about simplicity and access. They want every kid to just, from a smartphone, from a tablet, from a laptop, a desktop, it doesn't matter. They want you to be able to plug into their information and everyone have access to the same thing on the other side. So that's why I really appreciate Google and their approach. So we have those two things here. And it's just I don't want to go too deep into this, but I want to kind of pause at this point and see if there's anything else that I can address. This is the home base and the starting point for where you would find the information on G Suite for the homeschools. And then Joyce can lead you through getting it if you don't have G Suite yet for your co-op. She can lead you through how you could actually get G Suite for your co-op or for your family, your homeschool family. And then we take it from there and just we kind of work together and we kind of pace it through, you know, depending on where people are with their knowledge of either technology or their knowledge of how they want to use G Suite. And we kind of tailor make the training sessions for them from that point.
Okay.
Joyce, is there anything else I can address?
Well, I guess I would like to know from Candace, you know, how are you getting it? I mean, because I know for me, the first time it was just totally confusing. And Angela is here to kind of take our hand and walk us through this.
Absolutely.
But what are some of your goals, Candace, and so far what you've heard, you would like to see used in your home for your children where G Suite is concerned?
So as for my mom, like we have Google Classroom set up for her students for right now. She's just learning how to get more familiar with it. I teach as well, and our kids are on distant learning. So I know how to use Google Classroom, and because that's where most of our kids are at. And my daughter is using Google Classroom as well for one of hers. We just want, I think what mom wanted to be clear about was, do we just go through the website for everything in order to set up? Do we have to set up a new G Suite, or can she continue to use the one that she's already using?
Once you get the code back from Google with your email address, Angela, please correct me.
I'm sorry, go ahead. You're doing good.
Code back from Google, they're probably going to have you put everything within that platform.
Okay.
I don't know if Angela, will they be able to transfer what they already have, you know, with their classroom information, or will they have to start all over again?
So if you already have G Suite for Education, it is a G Suite for Education account. Not talking about personal accounts that you're transferring over, but you already have the G Suite for Education account.
Oh, okay, so that's what she'll need to get, because I don't think she has the G Suite for Education.
For Education yet. That's been sent off to Google. It takes about 2 weeks for them to get the code back.
Okay.
So Angela, will they have to, with what they've already done in Classroom and Docs, will that have to be, is that transferable to the actual G Suite G Suite platform now?
So from what I've seen, unless they've really, you know, done some things differently on that migration process, if you have built Google Classroom and your lessons in a personal account, then because G Suite for Education is a domain account, and I always tell people, think of it like a school building, like a physical brick and mortar building. You've got these little kids, these little kindergartners in here, and you've got them on Classroom, but you don't want anyone from the outside interacting with that kid, right? You kind of keep it enclosed in that building, and you don't let anyone out. You don't let them out. You don't let anyone in, because for security, you know, and safety and privacy. So if you have outside accounts, and then you're going to try to, that it doesn't, if you already have like a domain, we could consolidate domains, right? But if you're talking about personal and trying to bring it over, that's a different process. And it's not going to be as seamless.
Got you. And I think it would probably be best for her to just start from scratch. We haven't really used it. I was just kind of going through the process, showing like, hey, mom, this is how you could do it. So she hasn't really learned much about it. So it'd definitely be best for her to start from scratch.
I would say if you don't have a lot of data to migrate, I would definitely recommend starting from scratch. It'll be a lot easier, cleaner process for you.
Yes.
Believe me. Yes. Good question, though. That's a very good question.
So you have different age groups, of course.
She has from kinder to 8th grade.
To 8th, okay, so no high school.
No high school yet. So then they'll transfer over in August, and she'll have a 9th grader.
So are you using any physical textbooks and curriculum, or is everything digital for you?
She was using, I believe it was called Easy Peasy, and mostly like packets, but not any like textbooks or anything like that.
Okay. So what is your plan? I mean, we could do it digitally, of course, but what is your mom's preference? So for us, I mean, do you guys need us to kind of lead you down that path, or do your mom have a preference?
I think she could probably use some guidance.
Okay.
Because I think with getting as many kids as she has right now, because I believe it's like 12, she could probably use some guidance on where to go, like with the different levels and the different grades. So I think she would appreciate the with that.
On an elementary grade level, and then maybe early learning, and then medium kind of learning, and then junior high kind of thing.
Right, because for 25 years she taught 3rd, 4th, and 5th, which she taught 5th grade the longest. So she's comfortable with those grades, but it's when you got the kinders and the 1st and the 2nds, and then high school and middle school. So I think guidance is what she really needs right now.
Okay. All righty. Angela, what do you say?
I say that's, again, if you're just starting from and laying the groundwork, then we definitely would be here to kind of help you. Joyce is the curriculum lady, right? With the structure and everything. And I kind of take, okay, what you wanted to hear your lessons, and then how do we fillet the technology into it as well. So I would be the part that we would the apps. Bless you,
right. So I think it would be most feasible if she was around to have the conversation and give you a clearer understanding of what it is that she wants. Okay. That would be the best way, because she always tells me I give her pieces of information that I don't give it to her correctly.
Okay. So. Very good. Well, we'll definitely hear for that.
Yeah, you have 3 of these, Miss Wiley. Is it Wiley or
Willie? Willie. Yes, ma'am.
We have 3 of these. So this is our first one. Maybe your mom can be on one. And the reason I'm asking is because we have lessons. I have lessons already that I will be sending to you all.
Okay.
And one of the cool things about this is because we're also conscientious of receiving mail from Amazon or receiving any kind of supplies from, curriculum publishers, everything I have is being sent to you via computer.
Right.
So Angela has digitized some of our lessons. I'll show you. Angela, is it possible to show her that botany?
Yes, let me go back. And,
take a look at one of these lessons that I created, Miss Willie, and Angela digitized it.
Okay.
Very simple, very, very good. It teaches the children. I mean, it's just one-on-one kind of thing, but, and it's, you know, you can teach 3rd and 4th grade here with this lesson, and you can even, I think there are some profiles where even for junior high within this one lesson. So take a look at this.
Can you see my screen, Joyce?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is the lesson, and this is, it's in Classroom, right? Google Classroom.
Mm-hmm.
They are constantly upgrading Google Classroom, which is great because the teachers are all over it and they're giving feedback, and Google's real good about implementing things right away. So it may look like one thing at one point, you go back into it like, wait a minute, where did that button go? Because they're doing different things to it all the time. And that's just something we have to get used to. I appreciate the upgrades and the updates that they actually listen to what we have to say as far as feedback. But a botany lesson, and this is one that I took, the perfect example. I took Joyce's paper lesson that she sent to me, her PDFs, and we took it and we just kind of piecemealed it out into different assignments. A teacher can post an assignment, complete question 3 on your report. You know, if you open that up, then you've got all the instructions here. You've got your class roster here, who's it's assigned to, who's missing it. You know, you can put points, you can do the whole kit and caboodle right here and keep up with who's turned in the work, who's late. You can send them a note. You can do all of those things. So in addition to just having the instructions page and the coursework page, you have a running record of who's done what. You can give the students immediate feedback. You can post information here, put links, and sometimes you have, this is just a sample, but you have links to a YouTube video where they can go and listen to you teach the lesson, or you can find the lesson. You can get curated materials here and post them, however you would like to assign it and set it up. But you would simply just put your instructions here, and then you would go and kind of keep up with what's going on with each student and their work. So that's just a quick kind of sample of, you know, what's here and the overview of how you can do it and how you can add. Let me see if I can go back to it again. I've got some, go back to this one so I can get to the home page again. So yes, and all of these, each individual post here is instructions on what you would do. So over time, you have a month's worth or however long you've been doing this. Every time you post a new class assignment, then there's a new post for the students, and the students get an email that, oh, your teacher has added a new assignment, you know, that you, so they get a notification. If they're not clicking Classroom every day, then they'll get a notification in their email that, oh, there's a new assignment, and here's the create button where you can create an assignment or a quiz. You can post a question. You can upload material like PDFs. All of Joyce's PDFs, she doesn't print them anymore. She just has to have them uploaded to the classroom. And then you open up the PDF and you just read through and you do what you need to do. So that's what we call the process of digitizing the lessons. So if that's something that your mom is going to do, I would recommend that when she gets to this point of setting up the lessons, you can set up the shell and just have the shell there with the classroom code. But when you're ready to put the content in, I would really recommend that that's done in the G Suite, you know, where it's going to live, you know. Yes. So you won't have so much information to transfer over once you get to this level, you know, start peeling down the levels of these classrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Go to question number 2. To give an example of the kind of question that's asked. Name one famous scientist who worked in this field. Those are just kind of some of the questions that are being asked.
Okay.
The field of botany. And of course, you know, the first person coming to my mind is George Washington Carver. So you can use it to build upon your African-American knowledge who are in that field, or you can kind of fuse it with everyone else. So anyway.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
And this is actually the teacher view, and only the teacher would see this because we're both set up as teachers on this class. But the student view would have, in that question, they would have a box. They just type their answer, right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's what the student would see. But we're actually, I had to remember, I'm like, okay, where do they put the answer? Oh yeah, this is teacher view because the teacher can immediately see that there are 11 students that were on that roster that's in this classroom. And these are all the students that are missing the assignment as of the date she posted it. I think this has been up for a few months. So they're all overdue because nobody did their homework. So that's what you're seeing here. But that's a really good, and then if you had some that actually turned them in, you get to see the ones that, you know, turned them in. So
Or once you receive the lesson, and of course, you know, it's on the NBHE website. Is that how it would be? Or would they have to go into that NBHE website, G Suite for Education, to access those lessons, Angela?
yes, yes.
Or, yeah, you have to go into the NBHE G Suite for Education folder to access those digital lessons.
Okay.
But they're also in paper form,
Yes.
where if you just want to do them in paper form, you can.
Okay.
Have that benefit too. I'll send you everything that I'm talking about in paper form, and your mom can take a look at that and say, you know, she may just say, you know what, with this child, we're just going to do paper form.
Right.
Right.
Do the digital form so they can have that interaction with technology. And here's another one Angela has. This is some of her lessons to digital, and where we talk about digital safety and citizenship across the technology.
And all of these lessons are available to everyone on the NBHE?
Everyone who's a part of our co-op.
Okay.
And this is just a sample that we set up. You know, there are more lessons behind the scenes, but
Okay.
just the ones that we've set up to kind of give you a little demonstration of G Suite Classroom, Google Classroom, and how it works.
Right.
Yeah, there are plenty of lessons behind here as well that as we begin to talk to the co-ops and the individuals that have G Suite, we try to determine if they're ready for it and how much ready, you know, how ready they are for it.
Right.
And we can forward them to different resources that are free from Google. And Joyce has her curriculum as well. So.
And it's easy. And one of the reasons I created this is because, you know, homeschooling 5 children, it was almost impossible to buy curriculum for each of those kids. It was very difficult for me as a mom to teach so many children, different age groups, different levels. So I had to create what I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And easy, it doesn't require any particular curriculum, although I did have a core curriculum. I had a base that I used. But sometimes, you know, if my mom got sick, or if, you know, a relative was ill, or we just had to stop school for, say, a week, I was able to refer to these supplements to keep my kids going. And what I did, I put them in a binder, and this binder may say botany, and the lesson was there. The people were there for every classification of science. We used not only botany, but we used aeronautics, we used technology, we used biology, we talked about chemistry, and there was a scientist or a person that we paired with every classification of science. And so I was just able to get a binder and just give that to the children. And I'm telling you, you know, it's too simple to believe that it could actually work, but it actually worked, because my oldest son has a master's degree in public relations, and he was military. He's married now with his family. My second son graduated from LSU with a degree in piano composition because his creative energy led him toward music. But they all went to college. And then my firstborn daughter is a paralegal, wanted to go into law, wanted to go into psychology. Now she's one of the top paralegals here in our city. And she does all kinds of legal work. And if, you know, she talking about going to lawyer, sometimes she works for a law firm, but sometimes she actually goes to court and takes care of the motions herself. And then we have a second daughter who was involved in politics and public speaking, and now she works for one of our senators. And then my baby daughter, you know, she wanted to go into English as a second language, and she graduated from LSU as well, and works for the college. So all of this prepared them. I think these supplements prepared them more than maybe the math curriculum or the grammar curriculum or the history. And I was even very, very concerned about the history curriculum, because nowadays, you know, the longer we live, the more we find out. And I'm thinking, okay, Columbus did, I mean, things just begin to make sense. Columbus did discover America, but really, did he really discover America? And you almost have to have that conversation, because your children are going to ask you, how can you discover something that was already there, Mom? You gotta be able to give somewhat of a sensible answer, because at that point, your children are critically thinking and they're giving you what's coming out of them. So it's like, now, do I really need to teach that Columbus discovered America? Or shall I just say, they say that this man named Columbus, let me tell you about this man named Columbus. You know, he was a man who was funded by the Queen of Spain, I think. And I think it was the Queen of Spain. And she funded him to go and check out this land. And so basically that's what you say, you know, to your younger children, that he sought out this land. This is what he found. He brought the information back. And now here we are. But there's so much more to history that they need to know. And I know I can get lost in this. So in essence, what I'm trying to tell you is, through these supplements, you have an opportunity to just come out of the books, because some of the books can be very biased.
Yes.
And you have an opportunity to come out of the books and have that interaction between mom and between neighbors and between grandma and auntie and uncle, and to really hear what is it as a family? You know, what do you think as a family? And so I just see the success. And we're in the third generation of homeschooling. My granddaughter is homeschooling her children, which is a trip. I just take my head off to her, because, you know, kids are not like they used to be. And so she's homeschooling her children now. And so it's like, they don't really want to learn the way we taught, so to speak. They really don't want to learn phonics, or they don't want to learn sight reading. But like I tell her, learning does not change that much. You still have to teach them how to think, not as necessarily what to think, but how to think. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you.
It makes a lot of sense. You sound exactly like what my mom says, and this is definitely what the road that she's going down. So this is going to be amazing for her. So I definitely want her to meet both of you and be able to sit and talk with you, so that you can understand exactly where she is, because this is exactly what she's looking for.
I'm so glad. I have a resource that I think would encourage your mom, and your mom may even know her. Her name is Marva Collins, Marva Collins. The name of her book is The Marva Collins Way. You can get it at your local library or go to Amazon and get it. But Marva Collins was a woman who was a teacher, actually, and she lived in Chicago, just where Angela is. And she quit, so to speak, the public schools. And she came home and started teaching her own children. And then she started teaching neighborhood kids. And she grew to have this huge school that got a lot of publicity during the 80s and 90s. And your mom, I bet she will definitely feel this relationship with Marva Collins. The book is The Marva Collins Way.
Yes, I'm going to
And I am a spokesman for Marva Collins. She's deceased now. She passed in 2016. She and I became good friends during the mid-2000s, and just honored to have had that chance to meet her. And she just shared a lot with me about really what it takes to teach children and to get the best out of your students. Because now that my kids are grown, it's so important, girl, looking at it, and I'm thinking, did I do a good job in leaving my life in the hands of these adults now? You know, are they going to lock me up in a nursing home and throw away the key? So, I feel real good about the kids we've created. I have one little daughter who's, she's 24 years old, and I call her the child of the corn because, she looks out and she can go walk in the woods with no shoes on and a hoodie cap or something on, and she's happy. That's the one who works for our college. So you want to know that you prepared your children well, because I was very selfish about homeschooling. I'm thinking, do I want to live with these adults that we've created here, or do I just want to, knock them out the family? So think about that in your teaching. Okay, Angela, I'm done.
Well, that was good. I always enjoy listening to Joyce and her stories about homeschooling. I always get something every time out of it. So yeah, that was, I think, about it as far as the presentation of G Suite. And if there are not any other questions, I think that's all I have to, unless there's something else missing, Joyce, that I need to cover off on real quick.
Well, I want to ask Ms. Willie, what are your action steps? What do you feel you've learned from this? Was it clear? Because Angela and I, we want to make sure that when we present to people that we presented something that was clear. Angela, maybe you can think of what she should take away from this. And Ms. Willie, what have you taken away from this? So what did you get?
It's absolutely very clear. Like I said, my daughter, she uses Classroom. I teach choir, so it's a transition, but I have to teach choir through Google Classroom as well with my students. So I'm able to understand Google Classroom. And I mean, it seems pretty clear. I just would like for mom to be able to sit and have the conversations, because it's clear for me, but what's clear for me, she may not understand it, and I may not be able to deliver it as well as you all have delivered it to me, to her. Okay. But it's definitely clear and concise of what and how it should work.
Perfect. Okay.
Very good. And if I were to say anything about a takeaway, Joyce, just for next time, based on what we've seen and the knowledge that we already have of G Suite, what would be the thing that we could bring to the next call to answer some questions, or maybe to take it to that next step? Even if it was something as simple as, we have this sample lesson, how would you digitize it, or what would you recommend?
Okay.
Candace, I know since you understand Google Classroom, you're already, and you, especially if you teach music and chorus from, oh my God, how do you do that? You may need to come and share that with the other members that come, on the next call. I mean, that's a fantastic implementation of technology and how you use Google Classroom. But we just want to be able to answer those questions that, maybe you need to kind of think through to get you to the next level. I think that's my concern, is what can we do? How can we help get you to that next level, or your mom to the next level?
Right. And that's why I said I think it's just important that she hears and listens so that she can grasp. And then she may have questions that I'm not even thinking about. So.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
When is the next session that we can get her up here?
Next week, I'm going to, Angela and I are going to get together and talk about what we've done, and we'll set something up next week.
Okay. So
a couple of options. Are you open? What's best for you?
I'm always open. I mean, we're all at home, so I'm like, at this point, everybody's got time. She's open.
Okay.
She has a computer, so she's ready to hop in if she needs to. I just told her today I would jump on and see, but I think she needs to be a part as well.
Sure. All righty. Well, we will get back with you probably Monday with the day. Angela, what a day. That'll be good.
That would be good. I will check my calendar. I know I've got some things coming up. My teaching schedule starts next week, actually. I teach for local community college. I do Google there. And we just flipped, Joyce, to the online teaching schedule, because they said we were going to kind of furlough our classes until the fall. but those instructors that were ready to go and move forward with online instruction. And of course, I raised my hand. I'm like, I'm ready to go. Give me my list. So that starts next week. So barring that, I will be able to, you know, be on the call. I'll make myself available as I can around my course schedule, but that's not until later in the week.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I am available for sure whenever Angela is available, because I know you value her time here. But talk to your mom, share what you've learned from just now. And if you have any questions in the meantime beforehand, text me or email us those questions, and I'll get those over to Angela.
Okay.
So I see us moving forward, helping your mom. This is beautiful. Am I right in that you guys have found a building for her?
We are still looking for a building. There, somebody my uncle knew, they're allowing her to use their building right now. Well, whenever we are allowed back out. But so she has a space, but we are looking for a building just for her and her students where nobody else is coming in and out.
Okay, great. Okay, well, we'll get back with you. And if you have any questions, please send those ahead of time. And as I said, I'll send those over to Angela. But like I said, one of the good things about it, you know, and Angela, you know, whenever I receive something from Amazon Prime, or I get something from Melaleuca, I let it sit out for a couple of days, and then I, you know, spray it off and clean it up and all that, you know, the run. With these supplemental lessons that I'm sending you, that's the benefit of not having to do that, you know, not buy curriculum, because, you know, you don't know who's touched what, and, you know, that just freaks me out.
Yeah.
You know, with knowing that it's coming to my house and I have to leave it out for a couple of days and then bring it in. And I'm, you know, I'm one of these thinkers. I analyze everything. Okay, who touched this? What were they doing? You know what I mean? So that's why the digital part is so beneficial for me. So I'll send those.
You're giving it to your kids too, you know, in the school. So not only you have to touch it, but, you know, you have to pass it around to the kids. It's just,
It is. And I know that if you leave it out there for a couple of days leave it out there for a couple of days and, you know, just do the mitigation measures that they're telling us to do, that I'm sure is safe. But the digital lessons, that's why I haven't taught it anything at all. So the digital lessons that I'll be sending you will just forego all that.
Yes. And that would be much appreciated for her, I know.
Do everything by paper, but being that, you know, Angela and I have been trying to get people to see the benefit of digital for years and for years we've been doing this, is because that's where we are now. I mean, here we are, we can't see each other, and we're talking to each other via digital technology. If it wasn't for technology, I'm so grateful, let's say that. I'm so grateful for technology right now. I really am.
Agreed.
Okay, all right then. Well, Angela, unless you have something else, I'm done.
Just remember that we're going to be sending out the recording of this meeting. So if it would help your mom to kind of look through the recording, that would be great too.
Yes, that would be amazing.
Yeah, so to kind of get the context of what we talked about today.
Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. All righty. Well, Angela, you'll send a recording to.
I will.
You want to send it individually? You'll send one.
How do you want me to send it to you and you send it out, or you want me to send it out to the team, or?
You can send it out to everybody.
Okay.
Feel free.
No problem. I'll need to get it to process, so probably you'll have it before by Monday, if not tonight. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So good to meet you, Candace.
You too.
Yeah. All right, Angela.
Good to see you, Joyce.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye, ladies.
Enjoy your holiday weekend. God bless.
You too.
Angela.
Hold on.
Okay.
It's still recording. I gotta get this recording stopped. Here we go.